Hi, welcome to Spec Hunter. So, one of the biggest issues I've noticed with the Nintendo Switch 2 has been the way third-party games are being handled. It feels like some titles that would be a perfect fit for the console just aren't being announced for it. And when we look at big multi-platform games, a lot of them don't even have the Nintendo Switch 2 logo on them. It's confusing, and honestly, it's made things hard to follow. But lately, things seem to be getting better. Over the past week, there have been a bunch of announcements about third-party games finally making their way to the Switch 2. Each of these games has an interesting story behind it, and that's what I want to talk about today. Now, before we get into the lineup, one of the most exciting things that caught my attention recently is Persona 3 Reload. It's a remake of a beloved classic, and it's shaping up to be one of the most engaging RPGs on the Switch 2. During the day, you play as a student living a normal life, attending classes, hanging out with friends, and exploring the city. But when the clock strikes midnight, the world changes. Time freezes, and the dark hour begins. Shadows emerge, and it's your job to fight back. The combat is fast and stylish, mixing strategy with flair. You can chain attacks, summon personas, and take down enemies in turn-based battles that feel incredibly satisfying. The mix of story, emotion, and combat makes it a game worth keeping an eye on. But let's move to something bigger. Assassin's Creed Shadows has been officially confirmed for the Nintendo Switch 2, and that's a huge deal. I played it when it first came out, and while it wasn't perfect, it had some great moments. There were parts one enjoyed and others that fell short. But seeing it now coming to the Switch 2 is exciting. The game is launching on December 2nd, and although the DLC coming to other platforms will arrive later for Switch players, the fact that it's coming at all shows Ubisoft's renewed interest in Nintendo's new hardware. Ubisoft seems to be doing much better when it comes to optimizing their games lately. Star Wars Outlaws, for example, wasn't a game I loved, but it ran surprisingly well from a technical standpoint. That gives me some hope for Assassin's Creed Shadows on the Switch 2. The world in this game feels even bigger and more detailed, so I'm really curious to see how it performs on Nintendo's hardware. Ubisoft has managed to strike a nice balance between visuals and performance recently, and I hope that continues here. Now, the timing of this announcement was strange, but in a good way. The game was revealed not long ago and is coming out very soon. That kind of quick turnaround is actually refreshing in today's gaming world. The Switch 2 version will even include touchscreen menu controls, which is a nice little bonus. That said, I still don't think it's worth the full $70 price tag at launch. It might be better to wait for a discount. But if you've been a longtime fan of the Assassin's Creed series, this is a title you'll want to keep on your radar. The next game coming just a day before, that is Marvel Cosmic Invasion. It launches on December 1st, and while it's not a blockbuster, it's an important one for a different reason. It's a 2D side-scrolling beat-em-up, something that feels straight out of the arcade days. It's not going to blow anyone away with next-gen graphics or insane ray tracing, but it looks fun and nostalgic. The best part is that it's getting a dedicated Switch 2 version. That means the developers, Tribute Games and EMU, now have official Switch 2 development kits. This is actually a big milestone. For months, people have been wondering how many developers had access to these dev kits and when they'd start releasing games. The fact that smaller studios like these now have them means the door is opening for more indie titles and mid-sized developers to bring their games to the system. That's a really good sign for the health of the platform. The Switch 2 thrives on variety, and seeing more studios get involved early in its life cycle is great news. Another big reveal that got fans talking was System Shock Remake. This one is especially interesting because it's not just a port, it's a version built specifically for the Nintendo Switch 2. It's going to include support for mouse and gyro controls and take advantage of the new hardware to deliver smoother gameplay and better visuals. It's scheduled for release sometime in 2025, And the announcement shows that Night Dive Studios also has a Switch 2 dev kit. That's another studio now fully on board. What's cool about this release is how quickly it's happening after the Switch 2's launch. That tells me the developers have been working on it for a while, probably planning it early in the console's life cycle. System Shock has always been one of those legendary PC franchises, known for its deep atmosphere and story-driven gameplay. I never got to play the original when it first came out, but I enjoyed System Shock 2 on the original Switch. This remake promises all the bells and whistles, modern visuals, improved mechanics, and that creepy sci-fi vibe the series is famous for. I'm excited to see how it looks and performs on the Switch 2. Now, one of the biggest announcements was Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition. And while I didn't enjoy Fallout 4 as much as Fallout 3, this version seems pretty packed. It includes the base game, 6 major add-ons like Automatron, Far Harbor, and Nuka World, plus over 150 pieces of Creation Club content. There are new weapons, quest expansions, and even extra customization for your companion, Dogmeat. It's a very complete edition. The only catch is the release timeline. It's coming to PlayStation and Xbox in 2025, but the Switch 2 version won't arrive until 2026. That delay might seem small, but it's actually very telling. It shows how Nintendo is structuring its rollout of third-party support. It looks like Nintendo is following a 3-phase plan. First, launch partners who had dev kits early and could release games right away. Then the second phase, which is where we are now, where more developers are joining in and optimizing their games. And finally, the third phase, when almost every major studio will have access and can release their games freely. If you look at Microsoft behavior, it supports this theory. Both Indiana Jones and Fallout 4 are expected on the Switch 2 in 2026. Considering how open Microsoft has been about putting their games on every platform, it's strange they weren't there at launch. This delay suggests it's not about choice. It's likely about access. Microsoft probably didn't get the Switch 2 dev kit early enough, or Nintendo is managing release timing carefully. Either way, it looks like the pieces are finally falling into place. The good news is that we're heading into that third phase soon. Once that happens, it'll be like the Wild West again. Developers everywhere will have the freedom to create and release for the Switch 2. That's when we'll see the real explosion of third-party support, with new games, remakes, and unexpected ports hitting the system. Variety will finally start flowing, and players will have a much wider choice of experiences. When you think about it, that's what makes Nintendo special. It's not just about the big exclusive titles, but also the mix of different games that fill its library. Some people want massive AAA worlds, while others just want fun, creative indie experiences. The Switch 2 seems to be slowly reaching that balance. So even though most of the games we talked about today, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Marvel Cosmic Invasion, System Shock Remake, and Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition, are ports or re-releases, they still show progress. Developers are finally getting access to the tools they need, and the results are starting to show. We're not fully there yet, but things are clearly improving. People want these games. They want to play them on the go, on a portable console that can also deliver a solid experience on the big screen. And now, developers are beginning to respond to that demand. Whether these games turn out to be perfect or not isn't the main issue. What matters is that more of them are coming, and the platform is finally opening up. So, do you think the tide is turning for third-party games on the Nintendo Switch 2? What games do you want to see next? Let me know in the comments below because I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks a lot for watching. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and tap the bell icon so you never miss an update. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.